Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of Midweek Matters. I'm your host, James Graham, joined by the wonderful Charlie White, as always.
Fantastic to be here, Jimmy.
World's longest week.
It is the world's longest week. We have the weekend finishes. You're back at work and then all of a sudden there's a day off again. Do you know what I have to say though? Everyone took the mickey on Monday when I was at work. I had all these different meetings at work and people just cancelling left, right and centre. Everyone set themselves up for a 4-day weekend.
That's disgraceful.
Good on them, but I had to work on it.
Shame on you for
trying to
grassing them up on camera, snitching.
True.
Yeah. I understand though, but it's just the Thursday night game and then it's a long weekend of football. Great weekend of football. One of the greatest weekends of football I've seen in a long time with the comebacks and the closeness. But
it's crazy to think the Penrith game against the Bunnies was this same round.
I know.
That feels like genuinely months ago.
I don't know about that.
Months.
Feels like about 6 days ago to me.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Is that the exact amount of days?
I've got a good perception of time. But
good for you, mate.
Yeah, thank you. One person that doesn't. You were a little bit confused, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a bit confused.
Let's not. A public holiday. It's obviously a very important occasion, and it's we're not going to argue about that, but. It can throw you out of sync a little bit.
Yeah.
And you said, Charlie, did the NRL forget to put the teams out yesterday?
Well,
no, they were waiting.
Normally, even if there's a game on Tuesday, I feel like they put them out on Tuesday.
Just put them out for the sake of it.
Yeah, well, just, you got to name your squad. Teamless Tuesday. Think about all the people that have there.
So you reckon Robinson and Griffin are just getting ready for kickoff? Just a quick one, lads. I'm just going to...
Well, I mean,
it's 4:00. You've got to submit, or they
you're
come
an
out.
NRL level coach. Should be able to multitask. If you can't name a team,
well, they came out today.
They did,
and there's a couple of big changes, but we'll get to those in a moment because there's plenty of news to get through, and we're going to cover those Anzac Day games as well.
For sure, yeah. And the big issue, Jimmy, that we've got to talk about at the start is Jack Wighton. And thanks to Tui's, every single week now, the big issue is brought to you by Tui's. Love these cans, mate. They're delicious. I had a few of these yesterday after the game on Anzac Day, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they? Limited edition. Yeah. Outstanding. So, big thanks to Tui's for partnering with us. Good friends of the show now. Yep. I've been enjoying a couple of these.
And obviously, how do I feel, Jimmy? I feel like a Tui's or two, but we need to know how you feel about Jack Wighton signing with the Bunnies. Personally, I think it's fantastic for him. It gives him an opportunity to win a premiership. For South Sydney, it makes their backline, what was probably already one of the best backlines in the comp, that little bit stronger. And or not that little bit, that lot stronger. But what do you think about it, mate?
Yeah, there's lots of little subplots involved in this, and the ramifications will continue to affect players and people as the months go on. So you look at a guy like Isaiah Tass, who's been outstanding this year. Where does he fit in? What's the effect on the retention of Campbell Graham and people like that? Is Jack Wighton going to start as a centre and then move into that 5'8" role as Cody Walker, he ages on? Mm-hmm. So there's lots to think about. How does Adam Reynolds feel? How do the members feel, considering they let go of a local junior because they'd only wanted to offer him a short-term deal? So there's lots of little subplots. I've got to give Jack Wighton a lot of credit for this because it's clearly not a financial decision. If it had been financial, he would have looked to have either stayed in the nation's capital or go up and join the Dolphins. He elected not to do that, and he's made his intentions clear that he feels, his best opportunity to win a premiership, which is just something he wants to do, would be best served at South Sydney. Now, that's not to say in years to come, Canberra won't be there or thereabouts, but he just feels, based on the information available to him now, he's best moving. So people talk about loyalty and salary cap, but some may call this a selfish decision, and perhaps it is, but it's Jack looking after trying to do what he wants to do. You don't get any medals or positive feelings for you stayed in Canberra your whole career, good on you.
Yeah.
And yes, they've supported him and stuck by him, but he's bled for that club as well. So it's a two-way street.
Well, they stuck by him, but he's been their best player for the last 5-6 years. So he stuck by them for that period as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like great if you are a one club player, it does mean something that you can hang your hat on. Hey, I played for the same club my whole career. That does mean something, but the thing that's it does a little bit like you're a club legend.
Yeah, I get that though, Charlie. But I mean, he'll still be a club legend.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
He still will be.
Yeah,
and I hope the fans of Canberra treat him that way. So, look, one of the things I'm not sure on is the NRL looking at, or the sort of calls for the NRL to look into this deal. I mean,
it's nonsense, mate. It's absolutely not. And to be honest, they're not going to do anything about it. They're not.
No, but there's plenty of players stay for less than their market value, or go to a club for less than their market value based on other motivational factors. So I don't know if this is something the NRL can do with a monetary value. If people have got an issue with the cap the way it is, the only way to solve this is to have a point system.
What do you mean by a point system?
Well, what you do is you go. Sorry. What you do for a point system, Charlie, is okay, each team can spend, let's just say for argument's sake, 100 points, and then you'd allocate a number of points for each player based on historical data, level of performance. That would be, be calculated by the NRL or somebody at the NRL, but it'd be a complete overhaul of the current system.
Yeah,
which I don't think works, and I don't know if any other sporting governing body do that have a salary cap. It's just a monetary based salary cap, and this is it's tough on Canberra. It is. I get it. I get their supporters are going to be hurting. I get Ricky Stewart's going to be hurting, but it's up to them now to use this money wisely. Go after, we'll probably get into that, won't we, about what we think they should do. What do you think?
Yeah, well, personally for me, I think it's absolutely nonsense. The NRL is not going to step in and say to a player who is completely entitled to take less money to go to another club. He's been making $1 million a year for the last 4 years. He's made so much money during his footy career, Jack Wighton. He hasn't been an underpaid player who now needs to go chase that big contract. He's still going to get paid $800,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's still massive money. He's going to be the highest paid centre in the competition. So he wants to go to a club, have a chance to win a competition, and this opens up a massive can of worms, and basically restricts player movement. And if they did something like this, the RLPA would have to step in and say, hey, you can't do this because a player's entitled to take less money. Of course they are. It completely changes the way the salary cap works. And to be honest, mate, it's not going to happen. The NRL is not going to step in and say that Jack Wighton can't play for the Bunnies.
I think like you say, I think him getting 800 or figures of that amount, that's still top money.
Massive money.
I think the worry is that we end up with pylon teams, similar to the NBA, where you get all the stars sort of getting together and going, we're all just going to jump on this team. Now, I know their cap works a little bit differently, but you wouldn't want to see, superstar players earning a quarter of their market value.
No, of course not.
Sort of getting together in Origin and go, if we all join this team.
Yeah. But then the NBA is different because there's 5 guys out in the court for one team at a time.
Yeah.
Whereas the NRL's got 17 players out, 13 players out there on the field at a time. So I can't see that happening really. But the other issue is that it's just because Canberra have really connected to the media. Ricky Stewart's got a lot of friends, particularly News Corp journalists. So they are pushing this message really strongly. But the reality is the NRL is not going to make South Sydney offer him more money. Because the other thing about Jack Wighton in this move that obviously means something to him is he's a really proud Indigenous man, Jack Wighton, and the Bunnies' connection to Indigenous culture, being in from Redfern, that would mean something to him. Yeah. Playing with his best mates, Cody Walker, Latrell Mitchell, they're some of his best mates. So if the NRL steps in, it's just going to get really, really messy.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Interesting to watch this space of how Canberra go about recruiting now. In the past, they've had trouble bringing players to the nation's capital. In my time at the NRL, I remember, plenty of players going down there. It was all filmed in the airport, and it was, can they get them? They actually, remember they signed Tedesco, and he came away from that deal, or
The old backflip.
backflip, yeah.
Did you nearly go to Canberra at one point?
There was an offer to go to Canberra, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to stay at Canterbury.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
yeah, I mean, it's tough. We'd have to have a look at the different players available. There's not a heap of high quality talent coming off contract for this year coming.
Yeah, that's probably where Canberra can feel hard done to, is the fact that it's been left so late.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say so late this far now, so they're going, and I don't know where Canberra go with this now, whether they go after a couple of players or they go one big star, but where's that big star? Because there'd be plenty of other teams from as well. Like they've got, some may say, Raiders now have got this war chest. Well, so have plenty of other teams.
Yeah. I mean, Luke Brooks is a player who's available, who could play in the halves for them. He would probably only cost maybe about 500 maybe next year, maybe less. I don't know. He might want to go to England and get out of the NRL as well.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think they go after Luke Brooks. It might actually be where Canberra go. There's a couple of options in terms of recruitment, so they'll be strategically planning how they plot their next move. So they've had a history of going to England and bringing out players from there and nurturing them into stars. Obviously, Bateman, Whitehead, Hodgson, George Williams came out. Maybe they'll go after young Lewis Dodd from St Helens. I know there was talk of the Tigers looking at him, so he'll be on the radar. There are a couple of other young Englishmen over there that they may have their eye on. Obviously, then you'd look at recruit from within and look at talent development in the Canberra area, who's there, who's ready, and then put some other good players around him. Or the other one, which is a bit of a smoky, Charlie. Peter V'landys announces we're going to have a bit of a separate pot of money to go and attract players from other codes. Could the Raiders throw the 1.1 and some money from the NRL to bring in somebody from the Wallabies, All Blacks, wherever it may be?
Potentially.
That genuinely could be a play from the Raiders. So those are the three recruitment strategies that they've got. Besides going after someone else in the NRL, but I don't know if there's another 5'8" that would be. There's no clear standout within the NRL where usually you see the dominoes fall. He goes there, then he goes there, and he goes there. Who's
a young player who really impressed the one game they played this year was Toby Sexton. Could they maybe see if he's surplus to requirements at the Titans?
Perhaps.
Now they've got AJ Brimson playing fullback. They've got Kieran Foran and Tanner Boyd in the halves locked in. Then you got Jaden Campbell's kind of the next man up.
Yeah.
So Toby Sexton is down a pecking order there a little bit, and he looked like he's a quality player. Flash signs last year.
Yeah.
Ricky Stewart is obviously used to be a half. He does get the best out of halves normally.
It's gonna be interesting, and Canberra are going to be linked with anybody and everybody.
Yeah, it's a big drop off though. Wighton to Toby Sexton. So, it's going to be a tough. It's tough for Raiders fans. Great for Jack Wighton, great for the Bunnies.
We're going to take a quick break from the show to talk about our new partner, AG1. Now, I love AG1. I've been taking them for about 6 months now. I've noticed multiple health benefits. My gut feels better. My focus is more clear. My intensity in my workouts has gone up as well. And this is all thanks to AG1. It's the one-stop solution for all your supplement needs. I love starting my day with a refreshing glass of AG1. So simple, one scoop in the glass, some cold water, give it a stir, or if you want to go fancy and get the shake, do that as well. But it's so easy. It takes out the guesswork with your supplement requirements. If you miss it in the morning, take it at night. I never miss a day with AG1, and I am reaping the rewards from it. And the best thing about it is it tastes great too. And you can really start to feel the benefits. Have it as a simple part of your routine, and you'll see the benefits too. So if you're looking to make positive change with your health outcomes, check out AG1. You will not be disappointed. Their 75 high-quality ingredients take care of all your nutritious needs every single day. It's a small habit that you start and gets big results. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So to check out this exclusive Buy Round listeners deal, head to athleticgreens.com/buy round. That's athleticgreens.com/buy round. Your only place to get the free 1-year supply of vitamin D from Athletic Greens plus 5 free travel packs. Make sure you check it out or click in the show notes where we'll have that link for you as well. Please don't delay and get your Athletic Greens today.
Let's move on to the Roosters Dragons game. You were obviously there yesterday. Teabag situation was questionable again.
Yeah, I bought my own. They didn't have the cups. Spoke to Brandon Smith after the game. He was a bit disappointed but pleased with the win. First things he asked me, how was the tea?
Yeah.
So he knows this is real life issue.
The lack of mugs, not the mugs, just the lack of little coffee, make
heap
coffee
of lids, heap of lids everywhere, lids galore.
Yeah, why do they have so many lids?
Lids galore. You know what it is? It's Alanis Morissette. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. Well, guess what? Allianz Stadium. It's like 10,000 lids when all you need is a cup. Isn't that ironic?
Oh,
Alanis Morissette. She should have had that in her. If she ever remakes Ironic, which is a great song, by the way. Big shout out to Alanis Morissette, one of my favourite singers growing up. I do enjoy. I'm not actually joking. I do enjoy a bit of Alanis.
Yeah, no, it's a great song, especially late at night hearing that song. But
what?
It's like why
would the time of day affect?
Just sort of like a couple of drinks, the song's playing on a dance floor. It's
That's
like
a bit on the dance floor.
Yeah, like a late night sort of like.
No, it's not.
Sing along at a pub. No,
not on a dance floor.
Yeah, but it don't have to be like doing like gabbering. You could just fucking lean along.
I think it's like a good driving song.
Well, however you want to enjoy it, mate. I didn't realize you were the music police.
No, I'm not the music police, but I can question when you said it was you that said it was a great evening song.
Yeah, well, in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, well, we're not going to edit it out, but
no.
Yes. Look, yeah, we'll get to the football, but the tea and the cup situation at Allianz.
One of your fellow commentators, I saw he tried to. There was plastic cups, wasn't there?
Yes.
And he put boiling hot water in a plastic cup, burnt his hand.
No, that was silly for Anthony Maroon. Yeah. Very silly.
Anyway, the game though.
The game itself.
There's a couple of talking points. Joey Manu at 5'8". How do you think he went?
I think he went well. The Dragons' edge defence was very aggressive on him. He got his hands on the ball a lot more. I think he led the tackle breaks despite not leading the carries. And we've still got more to come from Joseph Manu. I think in the context of the game, the Roosters looked like they were going to blow the Dragons away, but they just kept inviting the Dragons back into it. But I like Joey Manu being there at 5'8". I think it works, and I think it's something that the Roosters will persist with.
His try was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Carried 3 guys over the line. So strong.
You can make an argument that he maybe should have drew and passed, but when you've got that strength, you back yourself. And like I say, the Dragons' edge defence was quite aggressive, so he's sort of showed and got himself. So this I think Roosters will keep that one going.
He also did a great job. I think in the first 35 minutes or so, Angus Crichton had 0 runs, but he did a great job then in the second half, getting him involved a bit more. Yeah. Nat Butcher starts for them this weekend. So that's probably maybe something he could have worked on the opening stage of the game, getting Angus Crichton into the game a bit more. But he did improve as the game went on. So
I think it's a tick and something they'll persist with.
The big issue though out of that game was Victor Radley's sin binning. Now, for me, from what I saw, it looked like a tackle with a slight little head knock of sorts. But he was pretty pissed off about it post game, and we do have that audio, so we can have a listen to it.
Describe the emotions after hanging on to win that one.
Mate, I'm all over the shop personally. I was losing my mind in the sheds there. It was a head clash. I don't know who made that decision. Shit decision, sorry. But, mate, the boys, for us to win that game, we shouldn't have been in that position. We were, and Kiri nailed it in the end, and then we hung on with some good defence in the end. But, mate, I'm all over the shop. My head's gone. I'm lost.
It's got to be a follow-up question. Are you all right, mate? We thought that it was shoulder to head, but you're saying it was a head clash, and are you okay?
Mate, it was a head clash. It was sweet, but for me to get 10 in the bin for that, I don't know.
You're clearly incredibly frustrated, man. I think he's joint NRL leading sin bin of all time now.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Which
who with, like MG or?
I can't. I read that somewhere, but anyway, I've got a feel for Victor in this situation because live looking at the replay, it did appear as if the injury was caused by head-on-head contact. Now, you could make an argument there was, and pause it and freeze frame and go slow motion, that the shoulder makes contact with the head, but the injury is caused by head-on-head contact. That's why Victor's so annoyed. That's why he's so pissed off, because, you've got to tackle with your shoulder, but when the head clash happens, the shoulder's there, but it's not what initiates the contact. Now, the referee said it's been reviewed shoulder to the head. Now, I think you can make a case that the shoulder was there, but that's not what causes the injury. And that's why Victor is so incensed. And that's why he goes back to the sheds and he can't calm himself down after 10 minutes in the bin. So he went off midway through the second half, and after all that time, he's still and he knows he's on TV, and he knows his words are going to be pulled apart, and he can't hide the frustration. So, look, I get it when you're in that position. Look, there's reputation comes into it. You know, we've got a duty of care to protect the players, and and you can't attack the head of the players. You can't put your shoulder into the face of the players. We know we can't do that. I just think in this incident, it's one of those where, like I say, it's head on head, but it looks like shoulders made contact, which is, you can't make contact with the head, but you could go through pretty much any ruck and slow it down and see where a contact is made to the head. So by definition, almost every ruck would result in a penalty or a sin binning.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I think he's picked on a little bit Victor Radley for who he is. This is the second sort of innocuous incident that he's been sin bin for and also fined for. So we got a $3,000 fine for that one. I don't know if that's to do with because it was his third and subsequent offence, that maybe if it was another player, it might have been a lesser fine than $3,000, but it's another $3,000 fine. The one against Munster where he just sort of brushed him, and then Munster fell over. He gets sin bin for that. And then this one, he gets sin bin, and it's such a crucial part of the game. I think it was the 63rd minute, and Dragons were coming back. It was a big moment to sin bin him, I think.
To be fair, the Roosters did well with 10 men. Sorry, not 10 men, 12 men. And they've struggled their last two games. It's really cost them. But I just don't even know. It was interesting to see Robinson and Tedesco after the game. They were both adamant it was head on head. Look, and the NRL are in that difficult predicament of we've got to protect the players, class action lawsuits. Well, not even that. They know they want. I believe the NRL want to protect the players and protect each other from themselves, and they can't allow deliberate shoulder contact to the head or even accidental shoulder contact to the head. But in this incident, on this particular case, I'm of the belief, watching it live, watching it slowed down, that the injury is caused by head-on-head contact. And yes, the shoulder is in the frame, but it's not what causes the injury. And had it not been, let's just say, if you look at that tackle and that they don't head clash, I don't think an injury is caused, and I don't think there's shoulder contact to the head.
Yeah, well, thankfully he wasn't suspended. Thankfully, because that would have been a bit of a joke. But just quickly before we move on to the round preview, then the Dragons, positive signs?
I think so. Yeah, they showed plenty of fight in there. It looked as if the game was going to threaten to run away from them. And when, with all the speculation of Anthony Griffin's coaching future, you could see the headlines, what they potentially could be today. I thought they showed plenty of grit. They found a way in, and probably Tyrell Sloan's best game in first grade for the Dragons. He was special yesterday, and it's been coming, that type of performance. I think I was part of the club when he was coming through, and you could see these glimpses at training of what he was capable of doing. Question marks over his size and his defence. Last year he was in and out the team, jostling for that fullback with Cody Ramsey, but he's made it his own. And yeah, what a stage to light up yesterday. He was magnificent.
He had a real swagger about him out there as well. You could tell he felt like he belonged in that environment.
And also that I think the Dragons as well, they've got to learn that when Sloan's hot, get in the ball.
Yep.
Get him the ball more. So you almost, it's like Latrell. When Latrell's hot, you give him the ball.
Yeah. It was such a shame that he couldn't, when they had the grubber for him and he then kicked it, he was millimetres away. If he gets that, they probably win the game.
That's such a cruel bounce of a rugby league. But the kick comes back, and normally it bounces up, but it just didn't. So he had to and it was, he's kicked it dead, but it's just a reaction touch when you're expecting it to bounce up.
And he almost got there. He was
I know. Well, that's
one more roll of the ball. That's all I need. And then I felt bad for Couchman as well. At the end of the game, young player, he was put through a hole. He obviously wasn't going to run the field and score with the pace, but it was a chance to get a roll on, and they might have had an opportunity for a field goal.
Yeah, maybe. But
what can you do?
You feel for he's had a really good start to his first grade career. He looks at home playing NRL. Good young kid, and you could see the disappointment on his face, but he knows that he'll get better from that. But that's not the reason the Dragons lost the game.
Yeah, no, it isn't. Semi-final rematch then. First game of the round.
Yes.
Sharks against the Cowboys. This was obviously the game where came down to sort of a bit of Val Holmes magic right at the end of the game, and the Sharks will be looking for revenge.
Yeah, they will be. They've been a bit better of recent weeks, the Sharks. Good win against the Roosters. Handy win against the Dogs. Cowboys, very, very gutsy up there against Newcastle. But they put it all out there against the Knights. I don't know if they'll be able to come down to Sydney and replicate that effort against the Sharks. It was a brutal encounter, the one against the Knights, where they were just hanging on in there. They only used 15 players. I fancy the Sharks in this one.
They're just getting stronger and stronger as well, aren't they, the Sharks? So
Nico Hines, he's in great touch. I don't know how they handle him.
Do you think he's now the 5'8" for New South Wales?
I think he's slightly in front, yeah.
Yeah. Friday night then. Great game, this one, actually. Friday, 6 o'clock game. Parramatta Eels against the Newcastle Knights. The Knights just keep impressing. I know they lost that game, but they were really strong against the Cowboys. Ponga came back. He looked really good as well.
Yeah.
Had a couple of try involvements, a couple of line break assists. I think the Knights are a good chance against Parramatta.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parramatta are not the same team as last year. I think we can start to sort of accept that they're not going to be a premiership contender this year.
I don't know about that. They've still got plenty of fight in them.
Regan Campbell-Gillard's a massive loss though for the next 4 to 6 weeks, if that's how long he's out for. Could be longer.
That's huge. Again, Parramatta's strategy is, load up, cap wise on those two middles in Borlo and Campbell-Gillard, and then the sort of rest come on and do little bits of work here and there. With one of those out, that puts a lot of stress on those other forwards.
It's actually a shame for Regan Campbell-Gillard because he's turned his career around brilliantly. When he was at Penrith, he kind of got pushed out the door. I think they were paying a bit of his salary to get into Parramatta at the start, and he's just done such a good job turning around his career. So hopefully he comes back strong. It's not that they were worried it could have been a hip fracture. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed when he comes back, he can help bring Parramatta up the ladder. But the Broncos Rabbitohs, there's the other Friday night game, and
Love
that
this
is
game.
the game of the round. Adam Reynolds' revenge game.
Yeah.
He might just wanted that little bit more now that Jack Wighton has signed with the Bunnies.
Well, he's going to get asked in the build-up. It'd be interesting to see what his response is. I know it's going to be, bygones be bygones. Love South Sydney, but I'm really happy here in Brisbane. And that might all be true.
Yeah, apparently he loves it up there. Apparently he's going to stay there when he retires.
Well, and I think he will, and good on him if he does. But still, it might just open up a little old wound.
It'd be hard not to be offended by that. I know he's spoken to death about the Jack White and stuff, but it would be pretty offensive. Like, hang on a minute, mate. I was 1 year older than him when you offered in this contract. Like, all I wanted was a couple of years,
and I won a local junior.
Yeah, and I was a premiership winning halfback with you guys.
Yeah,
and to be fair, they probably have missed him the last couple of years. The Rabbitohs.
I think they moved past him, but.
Yeah. I think it'd be handy having him there right now. But anyway.
He'd make a massive difference.
Two big outs, though. Haas and Mam.
Yeah.
For the Broncos.
Huge loss, Payne Haas.
Yep.
Huge. But I'm still backing the Broncos to get the win at home.
Really? Yeah. They've looked fantastic. I don't know. I think it's going to be tight. I couldn't really call this game, to be honest. It's a coin flip for me.
Rabbitohs South's a favourite,
Yeah. I think that's fair. Without Haas and Mam.
Coming off a win against back-to-back champions as well. I don't know, I keep changing my mind in my head. No, Broncos.
All right, then Saturday, 3:00 game. The Canberra Raiders against the Dolphins. I kind of wish, just for the sake of this game, that Jack Wighton did sign with the Dolphins, because then this would have been an immediately perfectly timed game.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't have announced it, would they?
No. But
well, mind you,
they might have done.
Leak like a sieve, rugby league, don't we? Wow.
It's going to be it's a bit awkward now, isn't it? This is the one thing about the NRL where they need to fix the player movement situation slightly, because now Canberra Raiders fans, I hope they don't boo Jack Wighton.
They really shouldn't.
Yeah.
They really shouldn't. Dolphins coming off that
weird win,
insane win. Like, what on earth happened in that game? Is Jennings playing this week? I've not seen.
Well, let me just quickly check, actually, because if he is, he's a very lucky man that they won. Because I suspect if they didn't win, he might not be there. Let's have a look. Saturday, this game at Wagga Wagga as well, which is
good they named it twice.
Yes, he is.
He's playing in Wagga Wagga.
In Wagga Wagga.
How good?
How do you see this game going then,
mate? After what happened last Sunday with the Dolphins, I don't know.
I think Canberra win.
Do you?
I think Jack Wighton has an inspired game, leads him to victory.
So I'm going to go the Dolphins on this one.
Okay. All right. Well, then Fins up, baby. The next one, Seagulls against the Titans.
Surely Manly. Schuster's out, but
yeah, Schuster's injured as well. I think there was a couple of people wondering if he got dropped or not. He's injured. That has been confirmed.
Mate, I don't know how Manly. The Titans are just, I don't know.
Yep.
That's actually my same game multi-game.
Oh, is it? All right. What have you got for us then?
I've got Manly -7.5.
That's the line, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's too high. I think the Titans are better than that. But anyway, I know they. I do. But anyway,
I was going the other way. I didn't think it was long enough.
Okay. Well, clearly that's why you picked it. -7.5. Then let's go. What else you got?
Saab anytime try scorer.
Yep. He's looked good, Saab, hasn't he, the first couple of weeks back?
He has.
I just want to see him in some open space now. It's one of my favourite things to see in the NRL is when he gets free.
He's very quick. And Olakuatu, anytime try scorer.
Nice. That one is paying $4.50. So that's your classic James Graham multi.
Yeah.
$4. Bit boring. Anyway.
Mr. I backed the Tigers. Oh, due a win.
They almost did win though, didn't they?
And Royce Hunt nearly scored the week after you picked him any time. Like, what? So when he actually scores a try, you're going to, I called it.
Well, also my same game multi nearly got up this week as well.
Yeah, good for you.
Tedesco tick, Manu tick, and then in some bizarre rugby league where they were dominating the Roosters. They're all over them. And as soon as I messaged the group chat going, my bet looks good, boys, then they score a few tries in a row, then everything changes.
Well, you knew you shouldn't have done that.
So I tipped the Tigers last week and I was almost correct. And they are the final Saturday game against the Penny Panthers. I will not be tipping them this week.
No. Although the line is quite, I think I looked on Ladbrokes, it was -20 at the time of recording.
Wow. That's very big.
And couple of outs for the Panthers.
They'll probably win by 40 then.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, jeez.
Who do you think then? The Panthers, obviously.
Panthers will win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Warriors against the Roosters. Now, the Warriors, we didn't talk about their game against the Storm, but it was an incredible effort to go to Melbourne. That shows where they're at. They're actually, we have to start respecting them.
We do?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this game, they've already played each other this season, the Warriors and the Roosters. Arguably, the Warriors could have won. This is a tough one to
Short turnaround for the Roosters, and they have to fly over.
Short.
Yeah, true.
Teams.
Yeah, a good point.
I'm going to go the Roosters.
Roosters, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Roosters. I do like what the Warriors are doing, but the Roosters, they were so close to dominating that game. Yeah, I'm going to back them.
Some big outs as well, like Tohu Harris. Looks like an MCL injury, so he'll be out for a little while. I think Chance Nickel Klukstad, he's out as well.
Yeah, they're big loss. Daniel Tupou out for the Roosters as well.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunate because I really like him. Maybe that's his origin chance has gone as well, which could sort of spark the debate whether he comes in on the wing or not.
What about Campbell Graham on the wing?
I know he did it for Australia, but I don't know.
He's not really. It's not a winger in your eyes.
No. I'd rather see him playing the centres and maybe Trebojevic, if he's fit, play outside.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd do it that way.
Yeah.
If that's what they're going to do, but Tupou out is a massive loss.
The final game of the round, then the Dragons against the Dogs, 14th v 16th, and if the Dragons lose this one, the pressure will start to mount on Anthony Griffin. I mean, it's already to mount. It's already mounted, but it will get quite intense. I think.
It will, and it already is. 2 of my old clubs going after it. Should be good.
And Joshy Reynolds is back.
Yes, I know. Reynolds is back. Poor old Kyle Flanagan. He can't catch a trick at the minute. I feel sorry for that kid. I genuinely really do.
Yeah.
He's obviously difficult having a premiership winning coach as a father, prominent figure in the media, assistant coach at Manly. He must be information overload. His confidence is down. The lad can play, but he's just not doing it at the minute. So they've made a bit of a shuffle there. And Reynolds comes in, who you know exactly what he's going to bring. He comes off the bench. He's been coming off the bench and bringing plenty of energy. I like the Bulldogs in this one.
Yeah, I like the Bulldogs as well. I think they will win. They're the underdogs. They're $2.25 underdogs, yeah. So that's going to be my same game multi, actually.
What do you got?
I've got the Bulldogs to win, Matt Burton to score a try, paying $5. Simple. Gone simple this week.
Simple.
Get back on the winners board.
Yeah.
The other thing about Kyle Flanagan, we were at the football on Thursday, just in the sort of media, there were a few whispers that maybe Super League clubs might be interested in Kyle Flanagan.
Well, they'll be of course they will, because he's a quality player.
I think he still views himself as an NRL player.
Well, perhaps, and I think he's off contract at the end of this season. He'd only be going somewhere in NRL to be. I don't know if he'd be a first choice half. So he'd be waiting for his chance. So I don't know if he could just go over to England, take the pressure off, see what happens. He might love it over there. He might play really well and come back like Jackson Hastings did.
Yeah.
Just get away from it a little bit. Get away from the spotlight. Start to enjoy his football, because, when you can see on something, he doesn't look like he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
And he hasn't for a long time. I think if he was to go over there at a strong club, enjoy his football again, and either look, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to stay. Or maybe come back.
Might be worth speaking to Mitchell Pearce, who's over in France at the moment as well. Like they would have maybe crossed paths when he was at the Roosters, Kyle Flanagan.
Well, Mitchell Pearce, Jackson Hastings.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of players that go over there.
Brody Croft is killing it over there. Brody Croft's just got like a 7-year deal from Salford.
So I think for Kyle, he's got a big decision to make, but I think like what's going to make him happy? Like thinking he's an NRL player and being a sort of, not a first choice half, or going over to England and playing regular first team football, play with a smile on your face, show everybody what you can do, and then see what happens after that.
Absolutely, Jimmy. That's probably it. Us done for the day, then, isn't it?
Probably it. Like your hat.
Thanks, mate. Mate. Don't know if I've ever worn a hat in the podcast before.
No, standards.
Someone said to me, which was kind of an unnerving comment. I saw them. I was wearing a hat, and they said, "Oh, you look a bit different in hats." And I thought, "What do you mean by that? Good, different, bad, different, just different?"
I think you're overthinking it.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Owen for saying that. If he's listening.
Do you look different? I think that's a negative.
Of course. It's not like nice hat.
Because what they'd say is, "Oh, you're great in a hat.
Yeah.
Or you look, that hat really suits you."
Yeah.
The choice of words is very key. Oh, you look different.
Yeah.
In a hat.
I actually asked him, I said, good, different, bad, different. Then there was a pause. And he said, oh, good, different.
Yeah. Or if he went up, like, oh, good. Like,
yeah.
Or you should have given the Larry David eyes, like just looking him down. But don't wear it next week.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Also, T-shirts are available. Click on the link. And we've got old episodes as well in the library. You can go back and listen to any of them. We've got some great ones there that you may or may not have listened to. Make sure you check them out. All available on wherever you get your podcast and YouTube. One
that's relevant right now, Victor Radley.
Yes.
If you want to hear about his competitiveness, I can't say the word. Competitiveness. That is fascinating. Yeah. I reckon that's my favourite of all the chats you've ever done, Jimmy.
Thank you.